As one of South Africa's leading specialists in the field of infectious diseases, Dr. Emille Reid is used to tending to patients beside hospital beds, not being in one himself. On this week's Brave Matters, an open-hearted discussion with Dr. Reid about his COVID-19 survival story. Dr. Reid, you're used to treating patients yourself, not being one. Walk us through your experience and tell us a bit more about your journey.
Falling ill with COVID a few months ago actually gave me just a broader perspective of what patients are going through, with what they are experiencing. Actually gave me a new leash on life as well. And thinking out of the box is usually part of our game, but when it involves yourself, you actually miss the diagnosis very, very frequently. You're so used to working, feeling unwell. You're so used to working, feeling ill, feeling tired, feeling fatigued. And when this happened, I actually just thought it was part of my everyday sort of experiences. Until I developed fever, until I developed some diarrhea, and that very, very well-known short of breath. Was a total different experiencing and an absolute eye-opener for me to have been in the bed and not next to the bed.
Dr. Reid, in your medical opinion, are people underestimating this virus?
I do think so, because the majority of people are asymptomatic. The majority of people have mild symptoms, and only a few of them actually become very, very ill. And COVID sort of hits home when it involves yourself, when it involves somebody you love, you care for, and when it involves your family. And I think that's where the biggest issue and concern is.
I contracted coronavirus myself recently, and I know the immense fear that I felt as a parent. Tell me, as a father and as a patient, how did you mitigate your fear with your medical logic?
Well, I think the important thing is to actually believe that we are human as well. And what patients are going through, we sort of go through at some stage in our lives. So if we're feeling anxious, we need to acknowledge that. We need to get help. We need to speak to people that can support us. For me, the important thing was getting back to action, getting back into the ICU, and being afraid of what I've gone through, and now going back to the place where I contracted the virus in the first place. And obviously for the family, it's quite difficult as well, because they don't want you to go back, because they were there when you were ill, and they actually don't want to see you being ill again. And before I returned back to work, I made sure that mentally I'm sorted, physically I'm sorted, and then I'm back to focus again. Focus on the job at hand, focus on what I do. And when I do get back at home at night, whenever that might be, you focus on what's important at home as well.
Dr. Reid, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us so candidly. These unusual times call for true bravery from all of us, but especially from our frontline workers who stand at the coalface of this ongoing battle. As more reports surface of medical workers like Dr. Reid contracting the very virus they're fighting, we can be proud and assured of the determination and commitment of our country's medical professionals as they continue to face the pandemic day after day.